So in this module, I want to talk about a few of the reasons that why your sales might have stopped and give you some things to think about to keep an eye on. Now, the alerts tool from Helium 10 is a great tool to make sure you have set up, because it will monitor some of these things for you and send you either a text message or an email when it detects one of these problems, and oftentimes that's before you even catch it. But you want to keep a close look on your listing, because even one day down can sometimes cause you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in lost opportunity. So the first thing you need to make sure of is, was your account suspended or was a listing suppressed? And a lot of times this will happen, and Amazon won't actually even send you an email for 24 hours. So a lot of times it will happen, and by the time you get the email, 24 hours have lapsed. That's where the alert tool is actually really good at alerting you to these things in advance of Amazon. So if you got that email or you got the alert, you can take a look and see what they have to say in there. Or you can actually go to the voice of the customer, which is a section that Amazon has, where a lot of times you can actually find the information of what the problem was, or in the performance reports. If you get a performance report violation, you can go into that and you can see what it is that Amazon's complaining about, and hopefully there's a little button there that'll allow you to actually fix that. Sometimes those fixes can be done automatically and you're back up and running in 10 or 15 minutes. Other times those fixes require the assistance of a person inside Amazon, and sometimes you actually have to hire outside people. There's a whole industry of people. Cynthia Stein is going to be speaking here in the Freedom Ticket as well, and she's someone with her company that helps sellers when they have problems that they just can't solve with the internal support at Amazon. She helps them overcome those issues and get themselves back up on track. So sometimes you have to reach out to those type of people. Another thing is, you want to take a look at your complaints. Have you received a bunch of complaints lately on your products? That could be a cause of a problem. Have you had a really high negative review rate all of a sudden, or a high return rate all of a sudden? Amazon takes a look at return rates within the last 30 days. And maybe you haven't sold a whole lot, but all of a sudden you got 2 returns back to back, or if you got 2 negative reviews back to back that are like 1-star reviews, that can cause problems with your product. People can put words in the reviews that will actually suppress the product. I remember Manny Coates, who started Helium 10, he was selling at one point selling a diffuser, and this diffuser was a top-selling item, like a 300 BSR. He was selling tons of these things, and someone actually wrote in the review that the diffuser caught their house on fire, which was totally incorrect. But because of those words, the algorithm flagged his listing and suspended it. So instantly, he lost thousands of dollars of sales per day, and he had to go through an entire process to get that back up. And it turns out that review was just bogus. Sometimes it's a competitor, sometimes it's just a customer. I've had customers on one of my products, on the hand sanitizer products, write that this product is dangerous. It contains an alcohol that the FDA says is improper or dangerous to humans, and it's totally wrong. It's 100% wrong. But it doesn't matter. Amazon flags it, and you got to go through a whole rigmarole to get it back. So those kinds of things can happen. Another thing is, you could have lost the buy box. Sometimes you've lost the buy box, and that can be for a number of reasons. Maybe your pricing, you either accidentally changed your pricing, or your pricing's outside of a pricing band that Amazon says it should be. Or it could be someone or yourself are selling this product on another website like eBay or Walmart or Bed Bath & Beyond or Best Buy at a lower price than you are on Amazon. Amazon will suppress your buy box for those reasons. It could be someone else is actually taken over the listing. A hijacker has come onto the listing, or an arbitrage seller that got your product somehow through a promotion at a discount is trying to resell the product and has a better feedback score than you, or is offering it at a lower price, and they've taken over the buy box. Those kinds of things can happen as well. When it comes to your reviews, I mean, when you get to bad reviews, a bad review rate can really affect you. One negative review takes about 12 positive reviews to overcome. And once you actually, when you first start off, you actually don't want a lot of negative reviews. You actually want 0 negative reviews, because that can really derail you really fast. I had a product once that launched, and we actually had a problem with the manufacturing of it. It was a pet treat, and the bags that they put it in didn't keep it fresh, and we didn't know that. And when they arrived into the Amazon warehouses, they kind of spoiled. And so when people got them, the treats were pretty rancid smelling. So like the first 7 reviews were all negative. So we had to actually ditch that product, fix the problem, and relaunch it. So sometimes when you first launch a product, if you get a lot of negative reviews, it's better to just scrap it and actually start over, fix the problem, and start over with a brand new listing. Just delete that listing. But once you get up to 100 to 200 reviews, you actually want a negative review or two here or there. Not a bad one, but actually it's actually, people don't believe it if you don't have negative reviews. So when you start getting a lot of reviews, if it's 100% 5 stars, that's actually more of a disservice than having a couple 1 stars in a lot of customers' eyes, because they're like, this is too good to be true. So you do want a few bad ones, just not when you first start out. So if they come in later on, don't get too worried about them. They're probably not going to affect you nearly as much as they would in the beginning. You also want to make sure that if the sales stop, that you're actually in stock. Make sure you didn't just miss something, you're not in stock, or maybe Amazon is got some stuff reserved, or they're transferring it or processing it. So you want to make sure that you actually have everything in stock. You also could have been changed, your category could have been changed. Sometimes you could have either inadvertently or maliciously, someone could have moved you to the adult category. And if that happens, you basically don't show up on search anymore, unless someone has the adult toggle turned on when they're searching, which most people don't. That can affect you in a negative way. Sometimes there's algorithm changes. Sometimes, I remember not too long ago, there was a weekend where Amazon actually was messing with the algorithm, doing some testing. A lot of times they do their testing from February to May, but that's the common testing period, because it's kind of a slower time typically on Amazon. And they were testing something, and something went awry, and people all of a sudden lost all their rank. And Amazon ended up correcting the problem within a couple days, but it was an algorithm issue. And sometimes those are accidental, like in this case. Other times Amazon makes a change in the way the A9 is working, and that can affect your rank. You also want to check your promotions. Sometimes your promotion might have ended. Maybe you were running a coupon, and that coupon was doing really well for you, and it really helping your conversions, and the end date has passed, and you forgot to reset it or to extend it. That could be a problem. Sometimes your listing might have been suppressed because Amazon's requesting some additional paperwork, like if you're selling some beauty products or some hazmat products requiring a safety data sheet, and they may be requesting that you prove that, or some toy products may be requiring something that shows that they're actually safe, or it could be it was classified as a restricted product, like a pesticide or something like that. And a lot of times things that you don't think are pesticides actually are pesticides, like even wands, those little LED lights that you shine over a table to kill germs, those are considered a pesticide. So there's things like that can actually cause your listing to be suppressed and sales to stop. Another thing is seasonality. Maybe the season has run its course, and maybe you're not from the U.S. and don't understand all the seasons, but Christmas is by far the biggest season in the U.S. Mother's Day would probably be second. Third would probably be Easter. Fourth, Father's Day. And then fifth, Valentine's Day, if you had to rank them in order of how they impact sales on Amazon. So those are maybe one of those seasons just finished, or it's about to finish. Another thing could be your PPC. You got to make sure your PPC is still running, or maybe someone's outbid you and you need to raise your bids, or maybe Amazon made some sort of change and your PPC is just not running anymore, and you need to readjust that, either the bids or make some new campaigns or split some things up. That could, or you're out of budget. Maybe your budget ran out. You forgot your PPC started working really well, and you actually ran out of budget. Another thing you can do to keep track of things is use Helium 10's keyword tracker, and that will go out every day and actually check your keywords for you and see where you're ranking. Or you can choose the boost option, and that's limited to a certain number of keywords, but you can choose the boost option and it will check it every hour. And so you can keep an eye on how you're ranking every hour to see if there's some sort of drastic change and try to catch it as soon as that happens, or and correct the problem. Another thing is you could have had a hijacker that got on your listing, and maybe they're actually selling your product, or perhaps they've even had the ability to go in and change your product. They changed your title, or they changed your description. That happens sometimes, or they even might have merged your product with something else. There's some bad actors out there that sometimes will do that to mess with the competition. There's been times where I've seen someone use an Amazon first party account, it's called a vendor account, where they've actually gone in and changed the pictures and put a nasty picture as the main image on one of their competitors' listings. Sometimes it can get pretty nasty sometimes in the things that sell really well. So one of those things kind of could have happened. Other reasons that could cause problems is maybe the credit card that you have on file has expired. Normally that won't actually suppress your account or your sales, that'll just suppress you actually getting paid from Amazon. But make sure that maybe the expiration date has gone past, or you changed your credit card and you forgot to update it on Amazon. Those kind of things can cause problems for you too. You also want to check your indexing and make sure you're actually still indexed. You can use Helium 10's index checker that will track that for you, and make sure that Amazon is still seeing you as relevant and actually indexing you. And if you've been moved to the adult category, for example, your indexing is not going to show up anymore. You can do it manually too by taking your ASIN and typing the keyword after it, but the index checker will do a lot of this automatically for you in Helium 10. So it's a great tool to make sure you have set up and are using. Another thing is maybe your characters have gone over. Maybe you inadvertently made your title too long, over 200 characters, or you use some HTML in your description and Amazon doesn't allow HTML anymore. Or perhaps you've gone over in your search terms in the back end. You added a search term and you didn't realize you went over 250 characters, and basically all those keywords in there, and some of those might have been driving a lot of sales. Now all of a sudden they're de-indexed and they're not working anymore. That can be another reason that your sales have declined. So I've just listed a laundry list here of reasons why your sales may have stopped. There's more than this, but these are some of the more common ones. So as you're selling and as you're going, if you notice something funny going on, revert back to this module and see if any one of these things is what's causing it, and take a look and investigate, and hopefully you can fix it really quick and get everything going again. Look forward to seeing you in the next module.